boost 'em out your lock that I am. I could rock a jam, make the world drop camo. Yes, I'm the bad man, and bad men were black. And if it come to drop bombs, hey, you with that. Now I can freak, block, flow, rip up a party, dance all night, and at the end, corner body. You wanted out the style that was made from my mom and my dad when I was young. I used to run with a notepad, then time flew, and somehow I knew that I was bad to the bone. Black prodigy since the age of 20. I could write a rhyme, rip it up, and write the next one right on the spot. Sign my name with the dot, diamond D through me a smooth beat. Bronx crowd roar, stick up your whack jam, everybody hit the floor. Okay, it's you, Slim, the hard rock, cover pack, the one to kneel to the brothers. You must be holding but something good in his chest, now his whole body swollen. Why did I have to do it? He asked for it, his man saw it, so it don't mean jack to me. He's gone, that's how it's supposed to be. Check it out now. I ain't going out, man, that short style is dead. Have y'all heard what I said? If not, ask the dread. He got a cannon that's bad, similar to the one that I got from my old dad. Punks about to get beat down. You're not about to punks about to get beat down. You're not about to punks about to get beat down. You're not about to punks about to get beat down. You're not about to you punk silky grass quick fast like my name was Flash when a sucker try to rob me for my cash. You thought you had a sweet Vic, nice pick, but you didn't anticipate that I might be sick. Now who's the trick? Cause I'm not a up. No. I always do the selling if I gotta do the swelling. My Nikes will be smelling your rectum till you learn. Brand Nubian, yo, you gotta respect them. Dissect them, yo, our word is born regardless. To whom or what and I do the Puma strut and step the hell off before I punch you in your face with a goddamn bass. Then you're gonna taste blood in your mouth. It's gonna flood south to the ground. Then you're gonna know I don't play around. So if you think you had two soft new jacks, we're gonna have to off you with a few cracks to the jaw. Then you won't pop that junk no more. Explain it to your punk friends you're laying on the floor. Did you want some more? I didn't think so. Just got whipped like a sissy in the clink. So I suggest you take your bloody mess and find a piece of wire. Fix a broken jaw, then it's time to retire. Lord Jamal will live long, cause I give strong blows to the heads of my foes. Dread blows, gives me power as it grows. Watch out, Ross Glider, you catch the speed, not heed not. And hell will be your home, Lord Jamal Sadat, as we swell your dome. Punks about to get beat down. 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 Word to mama stepping off with that nonsense, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, brothers think we fell off, but we definitely didn't fall. Word up, get knocked out with that there, you know what I'm saying? Word up, Bronx crews know the flavor. Word up, Brooklyn Queens know the flavor, yo. Uptown crews, Cortland Ave now rule. You know what I'm saying? Can't call it on that nonsense, though. Brand new and kicking the black facts. For the 90s and beyond, y'all. All punks, yeah, get beat down. Yeah. One day when I was riding on the train, I seen these two kids talking about the Nubian rain had fallen. I didn't say nothing cause these kids caught my goat. Even pulled my coat like a murder that they wrote. So this kid with mouth swagger now plays the cloak and dagger. So I got to show boost the martial lock that I am. I could rock a jam, make the world drop camo. Yes, I'm the bad man and bad men were black. And if it come to dropping bombs, hey, it with that. Now I can freak, block, flow, rip up a party, dance all night and at the end corner body. You wanted out the style that was made from my mom and my dad when I was young. I used to run with a notepad, then time flew and somehow I knew that I was bad to the bone. Black prodigy since the age of 20. I could write a rhyme, rip it up and write the next one. one right on the spot. Sign my name with the dot. Diamond D threw me a smooth beat. Bronx crowd roar. Suck up your whack jam. Everybody hit the floor. Okay, it's you, Slim, the hard rock. Sit your dumb ass down.
What's up, people? Let me get my headphones right now. 1, 2. You guys test your mic real quick.
1, 2.
1, 2.
Testing.
1, 2. Testing.
Yeah, I'm good. Mic check good.
John.
1, 2. Okay, here we go. What's up, people? Robbie Day here. Fuck Your Feelings TV platform, network, whatever you want to call it. We're here with Coach Solo. And we're here with Shelton Tucker, and these guys have a lot to say, apparently, and we're just going to get right to it. So this week's subject is going to be more along the lines of fatherhood and kind of some subjects and topics that kind of surround fatherhood. We're going to get a little bit of some support stuff. We're going to get a little child support. We're going to get a little bit of some bitter baby mama shit, right? You know, we all experienced that. Let me get this right here. Okay. So, yeah, let's get right to it. So, a couple days ago, someone made a post, one of my Facebook friends, and I put it up. And this will be our first topic of discussion. And the post said, "Before you hate and curse your father for abandoning you while you were still young, look for him and listen to his side of the story. In most cases, your mother fed your head with lies from the pot of hell." I think they meant to say from the pit of hell, but it said pot of hell. Your mother denied him access to you, and maybe she cheated on him. You know, I think that there's a lot of validity to that. Okay, I experienced that myself. I think any woman that has brought a man to custody court or put him in custody litigation, I wouldn't say per se child support, because child support is a little different. However, I would say any woman that has used the court to limit access to the child from the father, to me, they are creating a deadbeat father in the system, and that makes them a deadbeat mom. I don't think unless the father is a danger to the child, what can be so bad that you're limiting the time? Now, if you're just limiting the time just to get child support, which most women do, I mean, that speaks for itself. It's shitty, right? So that's the first topic we're going to talk about. You guys want to sound off?
I mean, that's a wide open topic. I mean, because there's so many different variations to why a woman would put a father on child support. I mean, like a lot of times women put men on child support just out of spite, because at the end of the day, when you bring that man, especially in the communities that we come from, you know, young men having young babies with young girls. Off the jump, the child when the mother bring the father to child support court, child support gonna tell the mother what she already know, that he broke, that he don't got no money. Okay. You know what I mean? He don't got no money. He not paying because he probably don't want to. Maybe he a drug dealer. He don't got no check stub, no pay stub, no bank statements. Right. You know what I mean? So he a deadbeat father according to society, what society says. And he don't got no proof of what he paid, what he did, how much he did.
Well, quite frankly, it doesn't even matter what proof you could provide, what you did.
Yeah.
Because they're going to make you pay child support no matter what. I mean, you could be a stellar father, and you're still going to be put in the system.
Yeah, you'll be put in the system. However, like if she go down there and tell him what it is, like I'm putting him on child support, but he do this, right. he do that. They don't tell. They don't care about that. That's what I'm saying. They just make it to the system. Right. When we get in the system, we automatically are a deadbeat dad. Once they call child support on us,
we're deadbeats.
We're
considered
deadbeats. We're labeled deadbeats no matter what the story is. Whether we doing this X amount of, it doesn't even matter. We deadbeats.
Shelton?
Me, I think the conversation, like you said, is wide open. It gets a little complicated because my personal opinion, child support itself is something that we all should want for the child. Support. But a lot of times when you hear people talking about the mother putting the father on child support, mostly what they're talking about is the system of child support.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really where we start. You start seeing these mothers and young mothers and fathers, not just young, but mothers and fathers, and having issues and having problems and discrepancies because the system of child support really only considers one thing about the child's life, and that's money.
Mm-hmm.
And not even just money. They really pretty much only care about the guidelines that they set.
Right.
The guidelines might not even be enough to support the child. Their thing is the guidelines that they set in the rules around it. The father either supports or he gets in legal trouble. His wages get garnished. He could end up in jail, going to court, all these type of things. That all is a part of the system of child support. But just to make it clear, I have nothing against a child being supported financially.
Yeah. Okay. So, that's actually a good segue, because we all agree that we're not against supporting our children.
Absolutely.
We all agree with that.
I think that goes without saying.
No,
yes,
it doesn't.
Sir.
Because it doesn't. Because you got women and mothers. You say anything about?
No, you're right. I get that part, because that's what we talking about. We talking about what
we talk about the system of child support. We're not saying we need to shit on our kids.
Absolutely.
And we're not saying we are perfect fathers around this table.
Definitely not.
Sir.
Ain't nothing perfect about
Definitely not.
Right?
No, sir.
We're not saying that. Right? I would be remiss if I could sit up here and say I've been the perfect father. But I can say that I've done my very best on what I was given.
Absolutely.
And when you're put in the system, you don't really have a choice. Right? You don't have a choice on nothing.
Yeah.
You could want to see them more. You could want to do more. Or you could want to have more access to them and be present. Right? But the system really doesn't care about your present. They just care about the dollar.
Absolutely.
So I think it's
and
good
the
that
rules.
you said that. And what's that?
And the rules.
Yeah, and the rules. So, the gentleman who shared the post, he was coming more from the point of, well, a man should always just fight for your kids. If you more to the fact of, if you're not fighting for your kids, you're abandoning your kids. And men shouldn't abandon their kids no matter what. And I held him to the fire on that, because I totally disagree.
Yeah.
When you add the law and you add the system and you add the court and you put that on a man, especially a black man, you know what our relationship is with law enforcement. You know what our relationship is with the court. You're purposely doing that. Women are purposely doing that.
The Karens. Those are Karens.
The Karens, yeah. So, when sometimes when the woman uses the system to make it so hard for a man to see his kids, the best thing for a man to do, and probably what a lot of men have done, is said, fuck them kids. And I agree with them. Fuck them kids. Because if you fight too hard for them kids, you will lose all your resources, you will lose your money, you will be paying attorneys for the rest of your life, and you'll be a fucking crackpot.
But I don't necessarily say that is, you say fuck the kids. You understand what I'm saying? You say fuck the situation. You say fuck the situation, right, and fuck the things that I have to go through in order to see what's mine.
You have to say, you have to be on a level of almost fuck them kids.
Because I like, listen,
you
man.
have to. You have to be able to not care that the system is fucking you over.
Well, absolutely. But you have to. But that takes a different person. That takes a different person to say, I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna go through this shit no more. I'm not gonna do it no more. I'm not gonna let her do this no more. I don't want to see the kids no more. You had to go through a whole bunch of things, and I use myself, my own experience with my kids. My first two kids' mother. My kids are adults now, but my first two kids' mother. Woo. And we was young, so I don't want to bash her.
How old were you when you had your first kid?
Now, when my son was born, I had just turned 17. But at 17, I was still a kid. Like, I got kicked out when I was 13 years old.
Okay.
So I was out there like a little puppy, just.
So you say you was 14?
No, I was 17 when I had my
first
first son.
kid?
Yep, I was 17.
You're a kid trying to raise kids.
Absolutely, but that's the thing. I had no idea how to raise kids, so that wasn't even the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
The mindset was, I'm just out here, I'm having fun.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I was, that's a whole nother story. I was locked up most of the time,
right,
going back and forth to jail. So, but in hindsight, if I could go back and change the decisions that I made where I wasn't around my kids, I would have did it. I would do it right now. However, that's not the case.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I grew up, I made a lot of mistakes. I was in the hood.
Right.
I was a straight hood dude. Like, I wasn't thinking about, raising kids. I wasn't thinking about getting married. Like, that wasn't even. I had no idea what it was. Like, I thought it was just cool. Like, okay, I got a baby. But in reality, I don't know how to raise a kid. I never seen my dad, never met my dad. I just met my dad over Facebook maybe like 2 years ago. You know what I mean? So it's hard to say, man. It's not to say, because I love and I adore my kids.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But my actions didn't show it.
Right.
The way that I lived didn't show it.
Whoa.
You know what I mean? Like, like, to society's standard, I was a deadbeat.
Wow.
To my own standard as a man right now, I was a deadbeat.
That's great that you.
I wasn't around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I could switch around my mindset to what it is now, I'll be Heathcliff Huxtable. You understand what I'm saying? Like people have to understand. Like a 13-year-old woman get pregnant and she have a baby, she got a little bit of support out there, even if she don't.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, when she get older at a certain age, and she didn't, excel the way that she wanted to excel, or people expected her to excel, they'll say, well, she had a baby at 13, give her a break, cut her some slack. But if that same father at 13 years old that fathered that baby, he 13 years old too. He in the hood. He going back and forth to juvenile, going back and forth to jail. But when he get to a certain age and he realized, okay, I made mistakes then, I wasn't around, but he's always going to be labeled as a deadbeat no matter what.
Right.
No matter what. Nobody's going to say, well, he was 13 years old out on his own. He didn't know how to do this. He don't know his dad. Nobody's going to say that. Right. They're just going to say, well, he a deadbeat. He didn't take care of his kids.
You're not going to get any compassion.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You're not going to get no.
It's like you said, man. It's a complicated thing, like you said. And when you said that, when Coach said it takes a certain type of person, certain type of father to give up or something and walk away. Sometimes when people think of that type of father, they automatically think immature, negative, unreliable, irresponsible. Sometimes these fathers are mentally spent, depressed, broken,
Absolutely.
in agony, grieving. So there's many different reasons why a father might make that decision. I can't speak for every man, but I just know that the system itself is really not set up for, especially black folk, young black families, or black families as a whole, is not set up for cohesiveness between the mother and father in the family. It's not set up for peace. A lot of times it's not really set up to support the child. It's more about an arbitrary thing,
right.
And and that's the most important thing as far as the system.
Right. Well, I think it's worth noting that the system really doesn't give a fuck about the fathers, right? When they created Social Security, no, not Social Security,
welfare.
Excuse me, welfare, right? Social Security is another entitlement program. We're not talking about Social Security. I want to make sure people understand what I know what I'm talking about here. Welfare was designed to help women and children, right? And if the father was in the home, the welfare stopped, whether the father had a job or not. In the early days of the country, the 1920s and 30s, welfare was for the family.
Absolutely.
Right? But what happened was then classism started, right? So now you have people in Congress, people in and who's holding office in politics, they're using class now to separate it. So now they're saying people, well, they at that point, they started saying people were taken away from the system, people are gouging the system, or whatever. So what they did was they stopped welfare for the family and just said, well, if the father's out of the house, that's the only way you can get welfare. But what about the father? What about the father not being able or not having the tools or skills to have any opportunity to get to work?
But that's
get work.
But that's the plan,
right? So the plan systematically was that is what separated or what broke up the families in the first place was this idea that if dad is in the home, he has to have a job. If he doesn't have a job, so what? Fuck them. They're going to go down under. So what a lot of women had to do was, look, I need to get this Section 8. You can't live here, but you can live here. So dad had to kind of like sneak around, or he just couldn't be there, right? So you remove dad from the house, you create a system by way it's pay per play, right? And then you say, look, if you don't live by this social economic norm of marriage and relationship how we say it should be, then you pay. And that's my issue with this whole system. I think it also should be noted that Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, this whole tri-state area, or plus Massachusetts, have the worst custody laws in the country. The National Parenting Organization did a survey, and they did an educational review, and they kind of looked at the custodial laws of each state. Some states are working on getting better. So in some of the southern or Midwest states, when a mother goes to child support or there's a divorce, they automatically say it's shared parenting.
Absolutely.
That's the first thing. In
the southern states, yeah.
In the southern states. Now, if you want child support, you have to make a concerted effort first to have a shared arrangement with them kids before you put that man on child support. In some southern
That makes sense.
Right?
That definitely makes sense.
When I got divorced, when they went to court, they automatically put me on child support for both my child's moms. I didn't have a choice, and I was like, well, I remember we spoke about this because I remember talking to you, Shelton, when this happened like 10 years ago. And I was like, man, I'm going to get my kids. I'm getting shared custody. I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to pay no child support. And Shelton told me the system is not designed for that.
Nah.
Good luck, brother. Good luck. I don't think it's going to work like that. Good luck. And I'll tell you right now, he was damn right. Because when they go, they're just going to get it. Everything's a one-size-fits-all situation.
Yeah.
And it's really not fair to men.
The system really goes on the word of the person that called.
True indeed. That
you understand what I'm saying? Like it's like whoever called first is going to get the benefit of the doubt. That's just what it is.
Well, even if the guy calls first, they're still going to allude to the mother being the custodial parent.
Yeah, why isn't she the...
Unless there's an issue with mom. Hell, a friend of mine, he got divorced, and his wife went in there and was like, look, we're just going to do things amicably. I don't want any child support. They almost made her put him on child support. She was like, nah, I don't want to do that. This is how the system works.
Well, so I can agree with that because I'm gonna go back again to my own experience. When I first found out that I was on child support, I think I was maybe like 21. I was in Enfield. I was in Enfield, Connecticut jail.
Locked up.
Yeah, I was locked up, and when you locked up, they could find you. They got your social security number, so you get mail, child support mail. So I remember I got the child support notification in the mail, and I opened it up, and it said that I owed $17,000, and I'm like, what? How? Like from that time, I was living with my baby mother and my kids, and I found out that if you live with your baby mother and your kids, like there's no way in the world you should be paying child support. So my baby mother at the time had put me on child support, and I didn't even know until I got locked up and I found out, that my child support was going up. So it's so many different proponents and that's why I said when whoever calls down there and get their story out first to that system, man, that's what it is. Like now you defending yourself and it's hard to defend. So even if I proved that I was living with my kids for almost forever when I was young, it doesn't matter.
Less.
It doesn't matter.
Fortunately, they carry out.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. And the thing about that that I think is messed up is you could be in your children's life for the first 5-6 years of their life and be involved in everything, financially, whatever it is. If in that time you don't make note of every single financial aspect that you added to that, if you don't make note of every single thing, there's situations where the other parent could go to court. Just say you was living with your child for 10 years. The other parent could go to court and say, hey, I think this person paid child support and I would like to have the last 10 years added together.
Yeah, absolutely. The
retro.
Actually, yeah.
And then I've seen fathers in one day go from owing nothing to owing $50,000-$60,000. So I don't know, more education helps, but I think that people just need to know that the system doesn't care. I know that some women are aware of that, and that's why they involve them in their relationships. But
glad you brought that up. That's a great segue. So let's talk about you guys won't be able to see it. Let's take a look at this video.
Hey, where you going? $1,200 a week now. It's over. Yep, you wanted to take care of that girl, your little new girlfriend, and her kids. Now, yes, because you got me messed up. I don't care. You taking care of other people's kids. I don't care. Yes, because I need all that money. I need it all. I need every penny I can get. Yes. Now you can see your kids once a week instead of seeing them all the time. Whenever you feel like it. Oh well, at least I'm getting paid. Did you want to be laid up with some other girl? Yeah, you got me messed up. Now, no, because that's what you get. You embarrass me. You embarrass me. You embarrassing me. I don't care. They can look all they want. Oh well.
I can't believe you, dog.
Oh well. Now, yeah, $1,200 a week. Yeah. No, I'm gonna egg this one on. Yep, I'm gonna be buying plenty.
Okay. So that was a video from World Star Hip Hop. They actually posted and reported on. This woman was actually recording her child's father walking away from court and basically berating him because she got him for $1,200 a week child support. When, one, he's an active father. She claimed he's an active father. She also claimed that he's going to go from seeing his kid every day to seeing him once per week. She's a piece of shit.
But she's telling you that she knew what her actions was going to do.
This is she's bold, but this is most women.
Absolutely.
Who take kids' father to child support. And look, I'm not advocating that men who don't take care of their kids don't do anything or be put on child support. Look, you gotta take care of the kids.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
You
I agree.
Effort, but I also feel that before a woman goes to put a father on child support, she should be advocating a shared custody or parenting plan for the father with the kid. Because at the end of the day, if each person is taking care of the child as they should on the time that they have them, on equal time, there's really no need for child support.
Yeah, but listen to the video. How many times did she say in that video that he don't take care of the kids?
No, she said he did take care of the kids.
No, that's what I'm saying. How many times in the video did she say that he don't take care of the kids?
She never said that.
She never said that, not one time.
His girlfriend.
Exactly. So you could tell it's out of spite.
It's jealous.
You know what I mean?
I saw someone that asked, what do you do if the father's not doing anything at all? And I just want to kind of answer that first. I'm not against child support, children being supported. So I know that there's different sides to this conversation. You do have men out there that aren't responsible. They live responsibly, they make kids that they don't feel that they should support. And when we come to a situation like that, that all goes back to a man just watching who he lays down with. You know what I mean? And that's just the accountable part of that conversation. But a lot of times we see women, not all times, but a lot of times we see women using the child support system as a weapon. Women that think, most of the time, if a woman feels like the father can afford it and they get along with each other, usually there's not a problem. The mother wouldn't try to use it as a weapon, right? But and I don't mean sometimes the mother, if they know the father can afford it, that would just, that will encourage them to use the system. But sometimes when a dad and a mom aren't getting along, the mom will use the court system because they know how punitive it can be on fathers.
Yep. But this is the thing with that, man. Like I started off saying in the beginning, like a lot of mothers, baby mothers, they call child support on the father, and when they bring the father to child support, the court's gonna tell the mother what she already know. He don't got no fucking money. He don't got no fucking money. So they're gonna do their job, and they're gonna say, okay, you have to pay her $12 every 2 weeks.
It's about the
That's what the system told the people that you called on me to tell me that I have to pay for my kids, and now they telling you that he only have to pay you $12 every 2 weeks. And now when I pay that $12 every 2 weeks, I'm still the deadbeat.
Absolutely.
Because I was giving you more than that before you called child support.
It's more to put the law on you. Look. If a woman knows the potential of the nigga that she's sleeping with, you know that if that nigga's got a
absolutely
$12 an hour whacker
absolutely
versus a
you know that
pause, right?
You know
what that nigga doing.
You know
how that nigga living. You know what that nigga.
It's
doing.
just like we talking about the guy that with the 7 kids and with the 7 baby mamas or whatever. So it's the women know. You know what you got. You know this dude wasn't P. Diddy. You know when you had a baby with this guy, like he had a minimum wage job or $20 an hour or less, or he was a hustler.
And he was good enough to fuck you in.
Absolutely.
Man.
Absolutely.
What? That's not right?
No, I didn't say it's not right.
He was good. You good enough to lay down with that bum ass nigga.
Absolutely,
what
man.
What did you expect was gonna happen with that bum
ass nigga? And that's not even the same.
That's not even a bad thing.
It depends, man. There's many different reasons. There's many different areas that, when it comes to that conversation, there's many different places that you can go. For instance, when we say that the woman knew the caliber of man that she was laying down with, sometimes that's true. I just want to play devil's advocate for a minute.
Not the caliber. We're talking about financial.
When I say caliber, yeah. When you said he wasn't shit, he could be shit and still not have the money. He could have the money and still not be shit.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So some women do it out of desperation because they can figure, he's not helping me. And he doesn't have much, but there's nothing else I could do. If he doesn't help me, he's not going to get anything. There's women who, use it as a weapon.
The only motivation, and I'm strictly talking about a baby mother, a woman that know the situation that they're in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You know the situation that you're in. You got a man that you with. He probably hustling. He probably a low-time drug dealer. Not a big-time drug dealer. You don't got a job or it's minimum wage. She knows this. And when they break up or something happens, she automatically says, oh, you found somewhere to live. You got somewhere to live. You doing this, you doing that, so you can pay this. Okay, we not living together no more. Like, it's not that I'm intentionally not helping you out. Like, I give you what I got, but you know I'm broke. You know I don't got what I got. If I got it, I'm paying my rent. I'm paying my light bill. I'm paying this. Not to say that excuse me from my responsibility of my kid. That's not what I'm saying. But at the same time, understand I'm not intentionally not helping you. I'm giving you what I can. I'm giving you what I can give you. You understand what I'm saying?
Here's what I think our culture is missing. I think, and this is why people of other cultures fare a bit better. They still have the same issues, but things always negatively impact black people or the African American community a lot worse than it does other cultures because of our lack of wealth, opportunity, and finances and financial literacy. And I think that a lot of our issues happen when we don't we haven't been taught to plan for our children.
Absolutely.
We've been taught,
I agree.
what we've been taught is, I remember when I was 13, and I remember there were 13, 14-year-old kids my age having babies. And I say that's an epic fail for the parents, right? The parents in our generations and the generations before us, in my opinion, were shitty as fuck, the black parents. And we can attribute it, we can make excuses for them, we can attribute it to them. They didn't really know, what was going on. They really didn't have the tools to do whatever, but in my opinion, they didn't use good common sense. I'm not letting my 13, 14-year-old daughter have no fucking kid. I'm not doing it. And I don't give a fuck about abortion. That's bullshit. My child, I don't care if they were grown enough to have the sex, right? Yeah, that's one thing. But you cannot make a child have a child. You're ruining that.
Yeah, but what if the child want to have the child? What if you make the child have an abortion and she don't want to have the abortion?
The child can't take care of it. The child, first of all, there should have been a little bit more oversight than for that kid to get pregnant.
Absolutely.
That child,
but she pregnant now.
It's the same way. The same way I don't feel a child has a right to change his gender. It's the same way I don't feel like a child has a right to keep that kid, because that child is not taking care of the kid.
And I understand that, but what's going to happen after you force that child?
I don't know
That's the
about.
cost of doing business. It's mistakes you make.
I don't know about saying whether or not the child has the right to have that child. I mean,
in my opinion, no.
I can see there being a big debate on the child's ability to take care of that child.
Child ain't got no ability to take
Of
care
course,
of it.
that's what I mean about the debate. That's the problem.
Zilch.
But as far as we just get on a real slippery slope when we start talking about someone's rights, because you got to really think about it. Like Solo said, you have to think about the effect that it might have, especially somebody being that young. And I understand exactly where you're coming from. I've seen it happen a lot of times. And I can't say
I feel like sometimes
that every parent that believes what he believes is wrong. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, I mean, I know parents who have done that. I know parents who as a
Plenty of times I've heard of that.
My father and my mom got pregnant, and I was actually talking about this with my aunts yesterday. Mm-hmm. My father and my mom got pregnant at 17. My grandmother was like, hell no. Right? My mom, she had to get rid of it. She had to go. And that was because my grandmother knew she wasn't trying to take care of no grandbabies. I agree with what my grandmother did.
And that again,
now,
something like that
dances
on the line of wisdom and selfishness. You know what I'm saying? It kind of dances on the line of
you
that.
You can't build no empire raising your 14-year-old raising a kid.
True indeed.
You cannot, and that's why I say
that's why the village is important. You know what I mean? For a situation like that. Yeah. Why so? Why do you say that?
Because I don't. Right now, the village is not what it used to be in the 60s, 70s, 80s.
Of course not.
Right. Right now, we don't even.
But 67 and 90s, we have the drug war and all this other crazy stuff. That
our village is not. We can't even talk about a village.
Yeah, but when you say
nobody don't want. I don't want nobody saying shit to my kids.
When you say
nobody don't want nobody saying nothing to kids.
No, I understand. I get that.
To me, the village is non-existent.
Yeah, but when you say that, damn, I forgot my train of thought.
Sorry.
But okay, so when you say that it's a village. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you say that it's a village, mm-hmm. And then you say earlier that parents back then wasn't shit.
In my opinion,
I totally disagree with that.
Me too. I definitely.
I don't agree.
So you're saying that the parents nowadays are more capable than the parents was back then?
I agree. I think that they're more.
I think you coming from that standpoint because you don't like the ass whoopings.
No.
I think because you don't like the ass whoopings.
No. That's part of it, but I think parents nowadays are more. There's not a lot of fathers walking away from kids' life nowadays like it was. We had the drug epidemic. They pumped drugs into our communities. They fucked us over, right? What could parents really raise their kids back then? Either if they were selling drugs or they was on drugs.
No, but listen, right? But what I've seen more back then when I was a kid, in hindsight now, I see more moms and dads coming to the schools to see their kids back then than I do now. You know what I mean? Like I said, my mother, I was kicked out when I was 13 years old. Mm-hmm. I never met my dad. I didn't even know I had a dad. Mm-hmm. So that's the main thing that I noticed as a kid.
You just proved my point.
Yeah, I mean,
there's more dads.
You didn't even know your dad.
But what?
My point.
But that's me. But what I'm saying,
a lot of people in your situation.
But I'm talking about what I seen through my eyes. Me not having a dad made me see all the dads that was there. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like I had nobody coming to the school for me. Even when I got in trouble, I ain't have to worry about shit. I don't care. Like nobody's gonna do nothing to me. Mm-hmm. Understand? But if I knew that dad was home, there's a possibility in my head like, nah, I'm straight. I ain't gonna do that. But nobody didn't tell. Who the fuck gonna tell me what to do?
Again, it's not complicated, but it's a situation where there's many opinions based on people's own personal experience and their perspective.
But I just think it's contradictory to say that the parents were shit back then.
No,
and then say at the same time in the same breath say at the same time say that damn, I forgot my thought.
I don't think that the
I think the way we were parented was horrible. I think
I
don't agree. I strongly disagree.
I strongly disagree with that.
And look, I think these generations nowadays are probably giving their kids more.
And I was borderline abused. I was borderline abused, and I'm saying that.
How can you say that?
Because so listen. When you look at it and say, okay, he getting abused or he getting beaten too many times or too harsh with the beatings. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, I think it built my character. At the end of the day, like it taught me to face what I had to face. You know what I mean? It made me strong enough emotionally, mentally, and physically to go out there and face what I had to face being on my own at 13.
Who was beating you? Your mom?
My mom. Yeah.
That shit don't count.
My mom.
Again,
that shit don't count.
Why you say that? Why you say that? My mom was a monster.
Why you say don't count?
I know that.
I'm just wondering.
But if your father was whooping your ass, it would mean something different.
It probably. I don't know that. I know, but I know how I felt when my mama was doing it.
I get it, and I'm not saying it was.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I was getting beat by mom. I know what a mom's discipline. Well, my stepmother was tripping.
Dad knew when to stop though. Dad knew when to stop,
but he knew. Yeah.
First of all, in hindsight. And I know a lot of black folk, including Solo, probably got a different perspective about this, man. But me personally, I don't agree with corporal punishment. That's not to knock any.
But what is corporal punishment?
Corporal punishment. When I say it could mean a lot of things. But corporal punishment, when I say it, I'm referring to physical abuse.
When I hear corporal punishment, I hear go take your clothes off, get in the shower. And come on, let me whoop your ass.
That's unnecessary.
That's corporal punishment.
Nah, I don't. Corporal punishment is more so abuse. Just getting a beating is corporal punishment.
I don't think so.
It doesn't necessarily. I didn't say torture, but I think it's corporal punishment due to the fact that they're being hit as a punishment. Now, I don't knock every parent that does that or has done that. I know in the past, a lot of our elders believed in that, and many people have different perspectives about that. Some say, that was passed down from slavery, and we had no business doing that at all. And people have different opinions about it. But me personally, I don't feel that is needed. And maybe I've never come to a situation where that was needed. But then again, is there such a situation where that's needed? You know what I mean? I can see that, there's some situations where that might have been effective. But I think that differs for every kid. But overall, I think it does more. Damage.
So punishment like.
Okay, listen. I hit my daughter in the legs with a belt. Mm-hmm. I gave her a couple of straps. Right. Mm-hmm. Even when I did it, it just didn't feel right to me. Mm-hmm. That's my daughter. Like I can't.
It ain't supposed to feel right.
Yeah. Right.
Even sons,
it ain't supposed to feel right.
Yeah, but even my son, look, it's even worse with my son. I can't hit. I can't smack him in the face like my parents smacked me in the face. Like my father and stepmother. Look at his cute ass face. That's my baby.
It's about education too, man.
Just like open hand, like.
So listen, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm gonna play
Yeah.
devil's advocate on that.
Okay.
Like, okay. And I'm not saying you should smack your kid in the face.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
saying that. I don't promote that shit.
Everybody feel different.
But I'm just saying, man. Listen, from a boxing trainer standpoint,
That's different.
okay. But I'm just saying, the training is still the same.
I would put him in the ring with you and with your student
So-
and let him get it in.
How do you?
Why- but why would you do that? But why would you do that?
It's a safe, contained environment where I know you wouldn't allow him to get hurt in the ring.
But me letting somebody punch him in the stomach is allowing him to get hurt.
Yeah, but
So
It's
what's
allowing him to get hurt.
What's the
Like in boxing, you need to feel that.
What's the connection you feel?
And in life, sometimes you need to feel that. Sometimes you
But
need to feel that. Like
Boxing
if it's for
is different because I think it's different because it's more like a sport. You walk into the ring knowing that this is a part
But
of
I'm
this
not
process.
necessarily
You know what I'm
saying that. I'm not necessarily correlating boxing and real life. I'm saying you can look at it in the same breath. It's a training.
Yeah.
It's some type of training. Like the more, like people always say things about trauma. Like trauma is a bad thing. Trauma is this. Every time somebody speak about trauma, it's in a bad light. However, I traumatize my boys every day when they come to the gym.
that's healthy
They-
trauma though.
But I never heard nobody say healthy trauma.
But is it
I've
different?
never heard nobody
If it's
say healthy
it's
trauma.
not trauma.
There's a difference.
I believe if it's healthy, it's not trauma.
That's what I'm saying. But it's trauma. It's traumatic. It's traumatic. What I do to those kids inside the gym.
I mean, it
and
might
the result from what I do to them inside the gym is
It might
spectacular.
be exasperating and things of that sort, but I don't think the children feel traumatized.
That's a lie. I
They-
don't believe that.
Listen,
In
they
boxing-
may feel.
What?
I'm gonna tell you what.
It's scary. It is scary.
Look, I'm gonna say.
I'm an adult. And
This
that's how
one-
this nigga
no, I was about to say that.
I know what it's gonna happen.
Nah, I was about to say that this, I don't think they're traumatized, but I understand their feeling because me myself, I came and did a training thing with you once. Now, not that I was scared to come back, but I knew if I stepped in that gym and called myself doing a routine, it wasn't gonna be no game. I was gonna have to bust my ass off.
But-
That's part of the reason why I ain't been back.
But listen to what you're saying though. The discipline of it.
discipline.
Like I know.
Traumatized.
I know.
I knew not to play. I knew I was gonna
Can't
get
play
the
with
hell worked
But
out
the
of me.
trauma,
You know what I'm saying?
the trauma of it is you knowing what you got to go through.
True
You understand what I'm saying? That's the trauma of it. So if you're willing to go through that trauma and endure that trauma, you're gonna be a champ, whether it's in boxing or
But
in
if
life.
you knew, this is the difference though. I think boxing and sports and things like that is.
But I don't want to say that I'm saying boxing is.
Oh
I'm
no,
just saying it's
I
the
see
same
what you're
mindset.
saying.
No, it's
But
funny.
the difference is
Yeah.
you walking into it knowing, whereas you talk about the area where you walk into it knowing, as opposed to an area that you don't expect it. Nobody expects to be traumatized through life. So depending on the person, their experiences, their personal character, their personal strength, mental strength, all of that, it depends on how the experience is going to affect. You can have 2-3 different people go through the same thing and take it different. And because your resilience, I don't believe it was trauma. I believe the trauma, and I can't say because I don't know for sure, but in my opinion, with someone, I can't see your experience with someone that went through a lot of trauma and actually made something of themselves and became something. I believe that it was their perseverance that pushed them to do that. The trauma may have given them no choice but to persevere or to fail. But I think that the person's perseverance is what pushed them because, the example with me, going to martial arts, part of what kept me going was because I had a dream. I had a goal. I was like, yo, I want to be a black belt. But the training was mad hard. The first couple of weeks I spent sitting home with ice on my knees, ice on my elbows.
Right.
So it was rough. But because I knew if I pushed through this in the end, there was a reward for me. I pushed through it. When you going through life and you expecting a certain type of experience, I don't think anybody is expected to deal with mad trauma in their life. So I think depending on who the person is, how they was brought up, a whole bunch of stuff. It's not just one thing.
But
That depends on how you respond to that trauma. Some of that trauma sends people over the edge.
You're making my point though. The trauma builds expectation. Trauma is nothing but a warning sign trauma is information. Trauma is telling you that this is bad. You understand me? This is bad. So now
trauma is normally super negative. Who's Carla? Is Carla?
Carla, my wife. Yeah,
she's making some really good points over here.
Yeah,
because I said that's healthy trauma. She said normally trauma is super negative.
Exactly. That's what I said.
Exactly. I know the trauma I had when I was in football, right?
But it's trauma. I never heard nobody say healthy trauma. Every time somebody talk about trauma, it's in a negative sense.
But I know the trauma I received in football, that was healthy trauma.
Absolutely.
It made me not scared.
It made you aware. It gave you information.
Right.
It gave you information about how this hit feel. So now I'm comfortable with getting hit. I understand now the trauma that it gave me information of the things that I gotta be cautious of. People look at trauma as like, oh, you need to, revisit your trauma. You need to. I don't want to revisit my trauma. I went through it.
Yeah, you have to.
I mean,
I went through it.
I think you need to revisit it because
when you say revisit, what does revisit mean? Because you revisit it every day. That's why you have.
It's not relive it.
It's not relive it.
It's revisit it. So
you clear that up for me. Face it.
There's no purpose when you relive it. It's just something that happens to you. It's an experience. When you revisit it, it's intentional. And you revisit it with the intention of going there so that you can fix something, and you realize that something that's happening now has something to do with something that happened over there. So you have to go back to that.
So can you fix trauma?
You can heal from some of the results of trauma. I believe that. I don't think trauma is a thing that can be fixed or not.
Can you heal from trauma?
Yes.
How?
Well, you can heal from a lot. One of them is revisiting it, like we said. Like there's an African proverb that says, "Don't look where you fell, look where you slipped." You know what I mean? And basically that means that when you're dealing with an issue and you're trying to figure out what's going on, don't go to the problem itself. Go to what caused the problem. Look where you first slipped up at. Don't look where you fell on your face. Because that's not what the solution to your problem is. The solution to your problem is where you started tripping at and you clipped and you lost your balance. Why did you lose your balance? Maybe you got pushed. Maybe you tripped over something that you didn't see. By you revisiting that, you realize that, okay, the reason why I stopped and I stepped over this so carefully is because back then someone pushed me over one. So your thing might need to be, you know what? I have to be more secure in my surroundings. I have to be more conscious so that when I step over this thing, I don't even got to worry about nobody pushing me. But if you don't revisit that trauma, it's almost like you being a little kid and some of my kids picking on you. And because of that trauma, you extra.
So when you say revisit the trauma, what does that mean? Revisit the trauma.
It's more in line with like therapy. So a lot of people take their trauma and they put it to the back recesses of their mind. I had an experience last week where some old stuff came up, resurfaced, and I had to deal with it. In other words, when I say I had to deal with it, I had to think about it, I had to process it, and I had to cry. Because we're taught not to cry. I didn't cry when my mom died at 17, right? We're taught to like put it back. And then I had an experience where I felt like I was communicating with my mom, whether it was in my head, whether it was real or not. I was in a place where I was communicating with her because I needed closure. And that's what I mean when we say revisit. A lot of times that's what therapy does.
And closure.
It kind of has you revisit so you can get closure, so you can move on, so you can let that trauma go, right? I think, but we are way past schedule. So I'm gonna go on to the next subject because we've been going. The perspectives here is dope. I think we're on to something here.
Just
good.
Before we end off, I just want to say
we're not ending off, but go ahead.
No,
I got to go.
I seen a couple of parents that said that everyone's story is different. I seen a parent that said, well, gentle parenting doesn't work for every kid. I believe that, and I agree with that. But it just doesn't have to be from one spectrum to the other. There is in between. There is a certain thing between no corporal punishment and full-time corporal punishment. I just want to say that. I'm not knocking any parent that thinks that giving their kid a pop or something.
To each his own.
Absolutely.
I have my own perspective.
There it is.
Coach Solo
That's what I want to say.
Mr. Tucker got his own perspective. We all got our perspective.
I run two.
Number one. That's the
I
first
run
thing.
to it.
Yeah,
I run
to
to
each
it.
his own. Like, look, everybody, these are our perspectives as black men, where I don't feel like we get enough. We have enough of a voice.
Absolutely.
And so
I agree.
these are our perspectives. I know people aren't, Nikki, I know you ain't going to agree with me on everything, okay? Miss Huckabee. I know you're not. But that's cool. I like it. I love the interaction. It's cool. But let's, moving on. Actually, let me put up another meme that I had posted today. It's kind of funny, but it's kind of relevant. It says, y'all females are always hollering stepdaddy season. When the stepmama comes in, now we can't see his kids. Now, look, listen. That's kind of basically what we were discussing with the child support skit. I think it could have been a skit. Somebody said it was a skit. No man's paying $1,200. You don't know. He might be paying $1,200 if he's got a nice hustle and he's doing some good plays.
Listen, if you making $60,000-$70,000 a year, that child support work.
There's already a guideline already set there. It says if you make this,
the average,
boom.
We're gonna talk about black men. The average black man is making $39,000 and $40,000 a year. Average black man. So child support sees that in bank statements and receipts or whatever. However, I guarantee you only got to pay no more than $24 every 2 weeks. I guarantee you.
Nah, I've seen that happen.
It's no point in calling child support. I mean, listen, man.
The thing about it, they just set the guidelines and walk away.
Yeah,
from the day they set that,
absolutely,
they put that order on the father. They don't check back now.
And just
time
off,
to see if that kid's being supported. Not once.
They don't care about the kids.
Just off topic. Just off topic. A good example is, I've been in prison with guys with domestic violence abuse. You know what I mean? Definitely don't agree with beating on women. Definitely don't agree. But it's a lot of men that's in jail right now with domestic violent charges, and it wasn't domestic violence. So again, when I look at the system, when you talk about system, when the system look at domestic violence, they have those guys that go to jail for domestic violence looking at videos of white men killing their wives because they looked at a man inside the grocery store, or they came home and wasn't nothing cooked and she got beat up.
Yeah, that's not the story.
That's not what's going on culturally.
What's going on
and I'm not saying men should be putting their hand on a woman. That's not what it is. But what I'm saying is, in certain situations, the mother and the father had a fight. It wasn't nothing where like he came in the house and beat her up, or she came in the house and beat him up. It was something happened. He found out about a girl and it was a fight. He shouldn't have put his hands on her. I'm not saying that, but it's not domestic violence.
Right.
It's not domestic violence. When he go to jail or when she go to jail, it's a stigma placed on them, just like child support. Mm-hmm. It's a stigma placed on that domestic violence.
I ain't fighting, man. Somebody want to fight, I'm sliding. I got time, man. You fight nobody, man.
Okay, so we're gonna go to the next. We're gonna go to this next video. This is the infamous seven baby mama video. Let's just, guys.
I got 7 kids and 7 baby mamas. Now, for the past few days, I've been going live, telling my story, speaking my truth. And a lot of women having an issue calling me a deadbeat because I tell them I was being irresponsible, yet not wearing protection. But I always tell these women that I got pregnant that I do not want to be a father to these children. And I offer to pay for the abortion. Majority of times, they'll either take the abortion or they'll take a plan B. But only these 7 have kept these children. But the crazy thing about it is they want me to be responsible for some children I told them I did not want. So for some years now, some of them been trying to get in contact with me, access denied. Because I don't really know why you trying to get in contact with me. I done told you I did not want them kids. So don't expect me to be responsible financially, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, or physically with some kids I got 7 kids I want. And I don't give a what nobody think about it. You're not going to force children up on me. Yeah, we both made the decision to lay down and have intercourse. We both was irresponsible about the decisions we made that night. Yeah, I could have pulled out, but I didn't. And I ain't care to pull out. Because I'm not the one that's gonna have to carry a baby for 9 months. It's the woman. In my opinion, women should be more careful on who they sleep with. Because you're gonna be like, one of my baby mamas trying to find me so I can financially support a kid I done told her or them I did not want. Another thing is, these just jump off. These the type of women that I ain't even have to do nothing for.
Man,
the bare minimum, but they gave me access to their body, and they think I want to be a father to a child for one of them. Like, I don't even have no time.
Okay.
I got 7 kids and 7
Okay, so wait. All right, listen.
He went in. He went all the way in.
Okay, so listen. I can see what he's saying. On one end of the coin, you can't. Me as a man, I'm never gonna leave it up after baby mama number 1. I'm never gonna leave it up to baby mama number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 to abort a kid. At the end of the day, I'm responsible for where I allowed my seed to enter. Period. At the end of the day, he's putting the responsibility on them, and there is some responsibility for them to take. But at the end of the day, he needs to be responsible for his own self. I would never do that. But then you got to think about those 7 baby mamas. After baby mama number 2, after baby mama number 1, in my opinion, number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are just as fucking stupid because you're having a kid with a nigga that's telling you, I'm not taking care of I'm not going to take care of this kid. I don't have the resources to take care of the kid. Yeah. What do you do? What responsibility? So at that point, both parties agreed and decided to have sex and impregnate each other.
When's the first time that he made that? After which kid? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That kind of matters.
Yeah, it does matter. But at the same time, he's an idiot, but so were they. Not one. I wouldn't say one. But if even one.
Wait. What you say, Shal?
If he told baby mama number 1,
you said
they definitely was bugging.
Oh, come on, yeah, absolutely. Like, look, I think there's enough blame to go around. I can't just blame the women like the mothers like he wants to, nor can I just blame him. I think they all play a part, and you guys are fucking with people's lives. You guys you're fucking each other. You're not using protection. You're creating these babies that's now going to deal with what we were talking about, trauma, right? So who's losing in the situation? The children are losing because he's saying, I don't want to take care of no kids. I didn't sign up for this shit, but motherfucker, you nutted in this chick and you allowed her to get pregnant. Now, in my opinion, more men should be more responsible with their work. When I say we're more responsible with their work, I got a vasectomy. You know why I got a vasectomy? When I got divorced, I got a vasectomy because you know what I said? I'm not having no kids. I'm done having kids.
Shooting up the cloud.
I had 3 kids. I'm not having no more fucking kids.
First of all,
you know what I did? I took responsibility on my peen.
So you didn't respect yourself enough to wear a condom or pull out?
Why would I need to do that if I got snipped?
Because man,
I got snipped.
Cause you ain't no cat or a dog.
Huh?
They do that to cat and dogs.
That's
regardless.
True.
Like, listen, I'm not having a vasectomy. I'm not doing none of that.
Well, this motherfucker, it would be good for this motherfucker to have a fucking vasectomy.
My thing though is
7
like
kids
this.
by 5 different baby mothers.
That's like a second
said,
circumcision.
Like
you want me to get circumcised again?
If more men were responsible with their peens, we wouldn't have a lot of the bullshit that we have.
But I'm not gonna listen.
If a woman could get her tubes tied, then I can get a motherfucking vasectomy.
Well, listen. Anybody can do what they want. You have the right to do what they want.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
However, for me personally, man, like, I'm not getting a vasectomy for nobody. Like,
why?
Listen, I agree.
Why would you risk it?
I agree, and I disagree with him in part. I disagree with him strictly on the fact that he went in knowing that he don't want no kids.
That's true.
So if you went in knowingly that you don't want no kids, then you should take the precautions to protect yourself. That's your responsibility.
Yeah.
However, outside of that, like, she understand also too. Like, you need to put on a condom or you're not getting none. Like in my mind, like listen, I've been out there in the hood. Like, I've been out there, like, with numerous women. And I could count how many women on my fingers that asked me to put a condom on. I could count. Like, we do the responsibility. You know I'm a scumbag.
Well, come on, let's be an adult.
No, we're not talking about adults. So listen, when you say let's be adults, right now I can say what he's saying is bullshit. I can say right now what he's saying, all that shit he's saying, he dead wrong for saying it. Mm-hmm. However, in the situation, like I just said, I've been on my own since I was 13 years old. Like, I'm just going to fuck anything that'll open their legs up to me. Right. Whether it's the first night, whether it's the second night, whether it's the next week. My quest is to get some pussy. Yeah. That's it. Right. Understand me? Right. So if she get pregnant, I'm not saying, listen, I understand it's a possibility that she could have got pregnant. I'm not in it. I don't want kids.
My man got. Nah, go ahead. Finish you saying.
Yeah, I don't want kids. I don't want kids. Now, I should have used a condom, right? But I didn't. Right. I didn't. So now I'm going to you. I'm saying, listen, we got the day after. What is it called? The day after. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We got the day after, and we got the plan B, and we got the abortion. I'm going to you straight now. Like, listen, we did what we did that night, and you got pregnant, but I don't want this kid. Right. I'm telling you, you got what? At least 3-4 months. Yeah. To get rid of the baby, and after I'm telling you, listen, we made a mistake that night. I don't want no kids, and you still go have the kid.
The thing about it's a double, triple, quadruple headed sword. That's crazy because, like my man on the video, the only place that I personally could agree with him is by saying that the women knew that he wasn't about shit, so they shouldn't have engage with him. Yeah, there's enough blame around to go even around. With that, you got to know when he revealed all this stuff. You know what I mean? By what he's saying in the video, you're assuming that every single woman that got involved with him, he told him that, and that might not be the case. You're assuming that he actually told these women right before we did anything that I don't want to have kids. But even if he did, even with the scenario you described, you know, you made a mistake, you know, something happened, plan B. You have to be, and I'm including myself in all this, we as men, we got to be more responsible. We can't depend on the female to say, yo, you got to wear a condom or not. We got to be more responsible because the second that we bypass that, right, our right to not have kids is what condoms is for. You know what I'm saying? They got things for mistakes and things, plan B and things of those sorts. But our right not to have kids if we don't want them is to use a condom or to make sure that we're dealing with a woman.
But that's not foolproof either. That's not even foolproof.
Well, that's why. But y'all clowning me. Y'all clowning me for getting a vasectomy. But I'm still not doing. But what I did was no. I understand that. But what I did was I took responsibility of my own
for yourself.
And Nikki,
because you don't trust yourself.
Cute comment. No. It's not that I don't trust myself. I don't trust everybody else. In other words, I trust me, but like this fella, he's trusting them to get rid of the baby when I don't want anyone.
No, he's not trusting. He's saying he don't give a fuck.
I know, but yeah.
He's saying he don't give a fuck. I'm giving you the option. I'm telling you right now, I don't want the baby. But you need to get an abortion.
I'm not gonna approach that shit that way because I give a fuck.
Yo, okay, so that's different. You cross into the twilight zone. You can't control the
you can't control that shit.
The narrative.
But yes, the fuck I can't control the narrative. You're controlling the narrative right now.
One thing I always remember is this.
Why?
The system.
He didn't take he said he took a DNA test for one of the babies. And when he took a DNA test for one of the 7 babies, guess who the person that took the DNA test, she was married.
Yo, man.
She was married.
I hear what you're saying, and I'm not perfect, but when it comes to that situation, man, it goes, my mom taught me something, man, when I was younger, man. To this day, man, me and my sister, she always said, when I was younger, just starting to get into sex and things, she said, be very careful who you lay down with. That person could very easily be the mother of your child, be the other parent. So
you gotta be responsible.
From just like that woman that shouldn't have laid down with the man that wasn't shit. We say that is because he claims that he told the woman he wasn't shit. How many times have a man laid down with a woman that we knew was irresponsible, and we still took that chance? But we still, you know what I'm saying? We might have been a good at that.
The problem is, but we don't gotta walk around and carry the baby for 9 months. We don't have to do that.
No, but
so
still.
I think the greater responsibility is on the woman.
This is why I was saying earlier that we need to start choosing better on both sides.
No doubt. Sure, right?
I agree.
At the end of the day, the responsibility is on us to choose better. Nikki made a comment. Huh?
Absolutely.
On both sides. Men to choose better, women to choose better. Nikki made a comment, Robbie acting like, I had my kids, get trapped or whatever. No. Listen, all 3 of my children were planned. I married my first my daughter's mother, 2 of them. Mm-hmm. I married her. I wanted to have kids. I didn't start having kids until I was 30. I'm a late bloomer. I didn't have kids.
But see, your perspective is different.
Okay, hold on. It is different. However, I don't know if it was the luck of the draw or whatever. I didn't get anyone pregnant when the time I started having sex at because I'm a late bloomer. I started at 19.
But let me see this. I don't want to cut.
So one second. So my issues, my children, they're not issues. My children were planned. When I got the divorce from my son's mother, and I knew that was it, and I knew that how much money I'm paying in child support. I know the system doesn't advocate for fathers. That's why I got snipped. Because I'm not leaving it up to the woman to say, I will never keep you from your kids.
See, we also know he had no control of his other reasons.
No, that's not. That's you guys are looking at it you're looking at it from the wrong angle.
Look, man, I'm not pulling out, and I'm not wearing no condom, so I might as well get snipped.
No, that's not true.
That's what he said.
No, that's not true.
So I'm shooting the club up all the time. I'm shooting up the club.
What I'm saying is, I took a responsible action and didn't say like this motherfucker saying, I ain't having a kid, I'll pay for the abortion, and the motherfucker still has
he bugging.
So but listen,
so would you rather it be me who got snipped and I ain't gonna have those 7 kids, or you rather be this dumb motherfucker who's saying, you understand what I'm saying?
No,
so I take responsibility.
But
and I think more men should take responsibility over their peen.
Yeah, but there's so many different areas. When you say men, like you saying you was 30 years old before you had your first kid. If you turned out to be a deadbeat dad, you an asshole. You dead wrong. Like crazy. it's no excuse.
System makes me a deadbeat dad.
But I'm talking. Fuck the system.
Okay.
I'm talking about us morally. If my first child was at 30 years old. At 30 years old, I had a clear mind. I know what the fuck I'm doing. Mm-hmm. I know what's going on. Once I sat down and made a baby with that woman, I have to take care of that baby.
Absolutely.
But when you're talking about young men, 13, 14, 15.
They don't have any resources.
They don't have no resources to be a father. I don't know how to be a father.
Education.
Absolutely.
We need more education. Absolutely. Ain't nobody talking to these young dudes, man.
But we talk back then. It was no education about that. It was only you got a baby and you not taking care of your baby. But who was forcing us to go talk about putting condoms on? And having who was doing that? What school?
Nobody. I know schools that had.
My mother ain't talked to me about that. My grandmother ain't talked to me about that. My uncle.
I didn't get no lessons on condoms set from.
My uncle was telling me how I could get bag chicks. You understand what I'm saying? So it was no information out there about when you lay with this woman, you gotta find the right one. I think it
depended what house you came out of, man.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
That's the whole point.
I don't know if there was a lot of conversations about childcare because a lot of
dude, we didn't have no education.
Nah.
And it's
about childcare. No, that's different though.
Me at 30
that's a whole different.
I understand that.
That's different.
Yeah, it is different, and that's why I'm saying. That's why I did what I did.
If I had a child at 30 years old, I'll be.
We can't. Even when we was 18, man.
And let me tell you something. I listen. I love my kids. Then when they get to the age of, Daddy, I need you. Daddy, come pick me up. Daddy, da da da. Now the moms use the court limit my access.
Oh yeah, they do that.
But when they get older, this is what I'm starting to see and I'm learning. The older we get, the more we learn.
Oh yeah.
And now, because I have made myself a staple in their life, now ain't nothing. They're gonna call me. So I had to get out of. There was a story a couple of years ago. We're gonna wrap up because we've been on it for an hour 15. It's getting good. But there was a story a couple of years ago about a guy, and he was fighting for custody for his. He was in his 20s. He was young. He wanted access to his kid. The woman was using his child's mother was using the court against him, and he was fighting. He was showing up to court. I think a black man that shows up to court that cares about his kids is a respectable man. However, it's hard to show up to court when you don't have resources, when you don't have an attorney, when you don't have now. If you don't know the system will drain you dry. I even had to file for bankruptcy 8 years ago because I couldn't afford the attorney's fees that it took for me to fight for access.
Oh yeah.
Fight just to get a court date, to get a motion. Oh, yeah. I got motions in court right now that the judge in the court hasn't even addressed because I don't have an attorney. So when women say, go to court, fight for your kids, why the fuck do I need to fight for my motherfucking kids that came from my motherfucking nutsack?
Sure did.
You understand what I'm saying?
No,
stop telling men to fight for your kids. It's disrespectful. Tell the woman to stop being limiting the child. I'm not going to call them no names because I was about to say some shit. I'm not going to say no names, but how about you guys talk to the woman and tell women stop limiting access to using the court as pawns for their children.
So before we end the show, I just want to clear up right now. Like, I don't want to be the person to sit up here and say, like, I was the perfect dad.
Respect.
Or I was a victim.
That's respect.
Or listen, man, I was a horrible dad growing up.
Me, I'm not a horrible dad.
Like I
but no,
again,
but I was 30 and you were 17.
Exactly.
There's a difference.
And again, I'm a hood nigga. Like, I was raised in the hood. Like, so I've been back and forth since 1991 to 2013. I was in jail every year except for 2003. Wow. As soon as January 7th got here, I went to jail in 2003. So it wasn't because I didn't want to be a good dad. It was because I didn't know how to be a good dad, and I had so many distractions. So again, right now, I got let
me hold that thought. Do not forget it. Before we people want to call in. I think Nikki wants to call in. She wanted to chew me out. Call in 475-242-5052. If you want to give a call in real quick, because we're about to be done in like 3 minutes. But go ahead. Sorry about that.
So again, like, I have 2 adult kids, and I have a daughter that just had a birthday the other day. She's 16. So listen, I was never there. I missed everything. I missed proms. I missed graduations.
Even for yourself.
Exactly.
That's traumatic.
Exactly. I never went to a prom. So with that being said, that's not my excuse to say that I'm justified in not being a good dad. Right. I'm telling you the circumstances of what I went through. Right. And I didn't understand. I didn't understand how to be a good dad until it was too late.
Hello. You're live on air. Fighting words.
Who that, Nikki?
Who this is?
Robbie. You know I was calling to chew you up.
Who that, Nikki?
Hold on.
You know I was calling to chew you alive. I only wanted to really chew you up when you started talking about teenage pregnancy.
Okay.
So I have
it can't go louder?
Who got pregnant at 15 and had a child. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
We're not sure the Jews can hear you.
So I am a young grandmother. My daughter was 15 when she got pregnant. She had a son at 16. It does not mean that parents are not parenting when these things happen. My daughter didn't get pregnant in the street. Her fast tail snuck the boy in my house while I was at work, and that is how she got pregnant. And she's been learning a lesson ever since. So I don't want it to, I don't want people because you have to be careful what you say on a platform like this, because people start to feel bad about themselves, or they feel like they're bad.
Yeah, that's not what I want.
I don't feel like I was being a and I know I wasn't being a bad parent because I was at work when she got pregnant.
Right.
But teenage pregnancy is unacceptable. I don't care. My child, any child, is unacceptable, especially when there's so much education out here. But you cannot, I'll be honest, and I tell people all the time, when I found out my daughter was pregnant, I pulled up the Planned Parenthood. My mother was like, you can't bring her there. You can't make her get an abortion. That is what I felt in that moment.
Right.
But not every little girl or every woman is not built for an abortion.
True.
Because obviously I have an almost 9-year-old grandson, but you can't force that on children, Robbie. It doesn't work that way.
Nikki, what if the daughter don't want to get an abortion at a young age, and you make her get one? Tell us about the ramifications of that.
So the ramification of that was my daughter, like I said, she was 15 when she found out she was pregnant that August, 16 in that November. She graduated high school because I had to pay for daycare. Thank God for the daycare at Wilbur Cross, because he ended up going there for a period of time. And 9 years later, you know, my daughter she's still young. She's 25. She still hasn't found her way in life. So now I'm raising her son. And it's you know, I have to help her raise him. I have to be her village. I have to be her support. And when she got pregnant, I knew that this is what life was going to be, because a child cannot raise a child. I don't care who says it.
I agree. Very true.
If I didn't help her, she wouldn't have graduated high school. If I didn't help her, my grandson would have been lost. But also, not every grandparent has the access. They're not always financially capable, mentally capable, or emotionally capable to raise these children. But it still happens. I do agree that if her father was playing the part that he should have been playing at that time, I do not think that my daughter would have gotten pregnant.
Okay.
You know, there was a series of events that happened before, and I made her father aware. Like, I see her kind of talking to this little boy, and in my head, I'm like, listen, I know I'd be at work sometimes 12 hours a day, but neither here nor there, my grandson is here. So now I have to do what I have to do, because his father doesn't help take care of him, and I'm not letting my daughter take him to child support. So now I'm stuck doing what.
Wait. So let's talk about that. Why you not letting her take him to child support? We
ain't doing all of that, because it's first of all, what my grandson gonna do with $66?
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. But that's the same system that women run to, though.
My stance on child support. My stance on child support is this, right? So for most people, right, if you take a day out of work, you know, some people, it wouldn't cost me anything to take a day out of work to go to child support court, but I'm not going. One, because I don't ever want to be the reason that there is a strain with my children's father being in their kid's life. I don't want to ever be that reason or cause that. And I mean, everybody listening know me. I'm not playing with nobody. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you don't, I'm going to deal with you worse than the judge can anyway. So I'm not going to child support, because I think it causes a wedge in between the father and the child. And I get it. I'm a single mother now. I've recently divorced. I'm taking care of my kids by myself. It's not easy, and it's not fair, right? It's not fair. But I love my children more than I could ever despise anything their fathers have done to me, because they haven't really done anything to their kids.
Right.
So what am I going to child support for? And again, my kids cannot. I don't care what anybody says.
Nikki, I love you for saying that. I love you. I love you for saying what you just said. I love you for saying that. Like, it's not nothing that he did. Like, she not taking him to child support because he don't have nothing against the kids. She knows it's nothing against the kids. It's something against what they went through. You understand what I'm saying? You have to respect that.
And I'm not proclaiming that I have a child's father who is deceased. I'm not proclaiming by it. Don't make no mistakes. I ain't say I got some good baby fathers, but I knew what I was doing. I knew what I laid down with, right? And I knew the potential of what could happen, right? So I'm accountable for the decisions that I made. with all three of my children, and my children are decades apart. So I definitely made the decisions. None of them didn't rape me.
I respect
I knew
that.
what I was doing, and I had 3 children. And unfortunately, the men that I had kids with have their own issues. But I just can't be the reason why my kids don't have their fathers. I can't stand in the way of that. As much as I am pissed off, as much as I'm mad, as much as I'm upset, I can't let that interfere with my kids because, again, I have a child's father who is deceased. If I had let his slackness affect his relationship with our daughter, she would not have known him. And now he's dead. So now what? So we as women, and there's some men who are single fathers too. We have to be careful about the choices we make when we are demanding child support. I just want them to babysit. Honestly, if you just babysit, you ain't never got to give me $1. Just watch these.
Okay, Nikki, can I say something real quick? We ain't babysitters, man. I'm a father, man.
You know what I mean.
I know.
You're absolutely right. But I be babysitting too, though. I be babysitting these kids all day. But no, what I'm saying is, like, that would mean more to a child to have that time than any money could buy.
Right.
Children are not going to remember the sneakers or the clothes or whatever you bought them. They're going to remember the time that we invest in them.
That's true.
I feel like the child support system should be strictly for dudes that know that they have a child. They have the means to support the child, and they choose not to support the child.
Agreed.
I think that's what it's a child support system.
Wait, who's saying that? That's Sola?
Yeah.
That's Sola saying that?
Yes.
Oh, so you saying I need to go to child support court now? My kids probably.
No, but I'm saying, listen, you need to hold. Listen, Nikki, you need to hold him accountable. If you got a man that can afford to take care of his child, that can afford to provide for him, then I believe child support is the right remedy for it. But if you got a man that you know don't got no goddamn money, don't got no job, don't got no resources, and you call child support him, that's being spiteful. You know he don't got shit. And now the court is going to help him out by having him pay, what you say, $66, no less than $66? I'll do that without a job.
They can keep that. I would make, if I had to go to court and they tell a man that they got to give me $66 a week for a kid, I will go to jail.
$66 every 2 weeks. $66 every 2 weeks.
Listen, I'm recently divorced. The Connecticut state minimum is $66, and I know I don't tag my ex-husband because y'all.
Is that a week or every 2 weeks?
He don't even pay. He don't even pay what he's supposed to pay.
Yeah.
He do whatever he wants.
Hold on, I'm gonna jump out there right quick.
I don't care because it's not beneficial.
Yo, I respect the situation, but I'm just gonna I think I need to jump out there and say again, man. Everybody's situation is different. You know what I mean? And I don't want to put a particular light, negative or positive, on women that do or don't seek child support. I will jump out there because I do know a lot of great women that are trying to do the best they can, whether their father's on child support or not. They're trying to do the best they can. And I will say this as a father, and just jump out there because I do know some. Just knowing the situations, man. A lot of times, there are times when the child support system is, is punitive towards the father, and it's inconsiderate of the situation financially or even emotionally that he may be in. But I think that sometimes the fathers complain about child support orders that really don't add to the whole situation.
Or don't provide the context to the full.
Unnecessary. And what I'm saying is, a lot of times, if it's not a lot of money, just like you said, it's a double-edged sword. So what is that going to do? A lot of times, you got guys complaining about these child support orders and stuff that's really not. It's not. If they switch places, and the father took on the bills and things that the mother was taking on, it would be different. You know what I mean? Some of these child support orders are arbitrary, but at the same time, they only deal with one thing, the child support order. That's it. Boom. They don't make you buy clothes. They don't make you buy medicine. Well, that's not true because they charge you for insurance. Yes, I mean say they do charge you for those things, but there are daily things that responsible parents. I'm not even gonna just say mothers because some of these mothers are very irresponsible. So I say there are things that responsible parents.
What would you say, Nikki? I'm sorry.
But that's the thing.
No, I said they do order a percentage of child care. They order a percentage of medical care. But what a lot of women don't realize is when you are holding a man accountable for him missing child support payments, from my understanding, and I could be wrong, and if I am, somebody who's more experienced could say, I don't even think you could hold them accountable for not paying the child care and the medical costs. It's only the weekly child support that you can even hold them accountable for.
But if the judge ordered that in his order, you are accountable for it.
Well,
if you don't pay
a mother can say, hey, look.
Yeah, the mother could go there and
say, look, I got braces.
Absolutely.
Look, this is what I'm saying. I can't say how. I do know in my divorce, all I asked for was sole custody of my baby. I got sole custody, and I said, in exchange for that, I don't want any child support, and you can see her anytime you want to. And there was still a child support order.
Yeah, once you say that,
that's how I know about this. But no, because the judge still ordered him to pay me child support.
Oh, okay.
In the divorce decree, the judge said in the state of Connecticut he could not allow me to get a divorce and him not have to pay me child support.
That's the system. That's the system.
We agreed.
That's the system.
So let me just say we both agreed that I should have sole custody of her for several different reasons, right?
Okay.
So he's supposed to pay. That's how I know he's supposed to pay $66 a week, some money for child care, some money for medical expenses. I'd rather him be able to be present in his daughter's life without feeling like I'm coming after him. So I just say do whatever you can, and whatever he could do, whatever he feels like he could do, he does it. And he knows that it's not acceptable because I know that he can do more. But what happens if I say to him, okay, I know you work. I know you don't have any other kids that you're providing for, and you're not even paying the minimum child support. If I take him to court, he ain't gonna never see his. He's gonna be mad and not want to see his daughter.
That's right, exactly. So you get it. Look.
So I just bite the bullet because I love my daughter more than I despise what he's not doing for her.
Boom. That's what it is right there. But then there are, and the women that are listening, I understand there are women that may not be in the same financial position that I'm in, and they may need their child support. Right.
Whatever works for them, I'm just strongly against.
Yeah, but you can't get what he don't got.
Yeah, you can't get what he don't got.
You can't get what he don't. The court would tell you that.
That's where the planning comes in. Hey, Nikki, listen, I thank you for calling.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Good luck, Nikki. Good luck.
I'm hanging up, y'all. Robbie, don't just watch your mouth, Robbie. All right. Y'all have a good night.
You too. So before we end, again, I want to clear it up, man. I have 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 adult kids.
Talk about it.
And 1 teenager kid.
Mm-hmm.
I love them with all my heart. I would do anything that I can for them. Mm-hmm. How I was brought up, the situation I was in, if I could change those situations for them, mm-hmm. and be there for certain things that I wasn't there for.
Mm-hmm.
However, I wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like now I have to put myself in a position
mm-hmm.
where if they need me, I'm around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm around. Like right. I can't change
mm-hmm.
the mistakes that I made back then.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say, I wasn't there for you. I can't bring that back. I wish I was, but I wasn't. So,
mm-hmm.
but I just want to say that I respect my 2 baby mothers. Respect them. They took care of my kids. They raised them without me being there, and I respect them to the utmost. Everything that I talk about mm-hmm. is coming from my experience and my mindset and how I feel about this situation. But I have 2 baby mothers that if it wasn't for them, my kids would be trash.
That's what's up. Hey, look, listen. That's what's up. That's what's up. You want to affirm your children, or you good?
He's a funny dude.
I'll say this because I'm gonna piggyback off of Solo. My kids know I love them.
Uh-huh.
My kids know I love them. You know, I do everything to be a good father.
Yeah.
You know, I get along with one of my baby mothers. The other one is hell bent on ruining my life. I mean, I got to go to court next week for bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so look, it's all good. I love my son. I love my daughters. My kids know I love them. I'm there. I'm present, right?
No doubt.
And if I can't be, I'm a phone call away. And I think that we need more affirmation in our community with black men.
Absolutely.
You, me, and we should be the example, right? Yeah, I can say, you know, the old generation, the generation before us wasn't shit.
Mm-hmm.
But if I feel the old generations wasn't shit, then
I totally disagree with that, right?
that's cool. That's cool. And that's because of the education factor.
That's because you was an old man when you had your kids.
Probably. Yeah, and you're right. And I was able to look at it from a 30,000 from a distance,
from a 30-year-old
mindset.
Absolutely.
Right. So I'm looking at it from a 30. If I was 20, I probably feel the same.
Or 13 or 14 or 15.
I feel the same way.
Imagine that. Yeah.
I agree. But I'm looking at it from a point where my kids were playing. Things didn't happen the way I wanted it to happen. The marriages didn't happen. They didn't last, right? So as a result of it, I think the kids lose when you use the system as a means to
everybody lose when the family feuds.
Right, everybody lose, right? So look, I'm not the perfect father, but at this stage of the game and middle age, my kids don't want for nothing. They don't have to want me to be there.
I think that's the main thing.
That's the main thing.
Mothers want them to not want for nothing.
Be present. I don't want them to want for nothing. Now they're not going to get the luxury. Like my daughter's about to turn 16. She don't get a car. What I might do is allow her to drive me everywhere. But you ain't getting no car, little motherfucker.
So I know this might be another topic on another show. Mm-hmm. But you know, what do you do? Like when you missed everything. Like so I'm gonna tell you what my goal is.
It's what you did tonight, though.
Exactly.
It's what you did tonight. You said I'm not perfect. Exactly. I wasn't the best father.
Yes.
That goes a long way.
But I'm gonna tell you what my goal is. My goal is I missed all those early years. I wanna position myself where I'm there for you in your older years, in your grown up years. Like I know as a grown up, I needed somebody to help me.
Do you demand respect from your kids now?
I demand respect from everybody.
Question.
I don't care whether you.
No. But I'm just saying, you're not hard on them when they have certain feelings about you or certain feelings about the situation?
No, I'll let you know. Like me and my daughter. My oldest daughter, we got a little beef going on right now.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like she asked me to help her with her business. There's so many different things to that. So it's that's a whole other show.
You don't have to.
But I told her, show me a LLC, show me, what business that you got, what you're doing, then I'll put it in there.
Right.
But if you're not going to show me that, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
So with that being said, we had the conversation about me not being there. We had the conversation about me being in jail. How our mother, her mother and I relationship was. We had that conversation. So in my mind, we was straight. We was cool. We had that conversation. You know what it is, and once I made that decision and pissed her off, now it came to, you wasn't there for me, you didn't do that. So it's complicated.
Right.
But it makes me go in defense mode.
Some of it be just...
My trauma makes me go in defense mode. Right. You know what I mean? And I know I'm not right. I know for a fact I need to be like, all right, I understand what she's going through. I understand she's just saying that because she's mad. But in defense mode, I'm going.
I'm saying, nigga, I'm not gonna get all But I'm not gonna get on to my affirmations. But I will say, my kids know I love them. I ain't gotta get all deep into that. I fought for all my kids. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of them things. I wish I wouldn't have had to, but that's a whole nother lifetime, a whole nother part of the story. But I love my kids to death, man. I went through a lot for them, yo. But it's everybody's story is different, man. Cause sometimes you get into one or two stories you take away from the other people that had a bunch of different experiences.
No, I agree with that.
I don't want to.
I absolutely agree with that.
I don't want this story to get so caught up in the three of us, because there's many different spectrums.
But with that being said, it's our perspective.
It's our perspective.
I'm not. That's Rob's job. Rob gonna go into the statistics and all that stuff. Me personally, I'm gonna give my perspective. I'm gonna tell you what I lived through. I'm gonna tell you what I went through. I'm gonna tell you how I responded to certain situations. I'm gonna tell you what happened in certain situations. If you don't agree with that, then that's on you or the audience. But me, I'm gonna tell you from the horse's mouth. This is what happened with me. This is how I handle that. So, in terms of what other people think, man, it is what it is, man. You know what I mean?
It depends. It depends how you look at it. Depending on the segment you in. Sometimes it matters. True. You know what I'm saying?
But again, I have a youth organization. Like, I deal with youth all day, and it's kind of a contradiction to say that I was a bad dad to society or to whatever, but to these kids that come to my gym, you understand? But to me, that shows what type of dad I would have been if I was in the mindset.
Maybe.
If I was in that right mindset.
What I will say is this. What I will say was this. You have a lasting point you want to say? Or you good?
I just want to say, it's a complicated situation. I think that one of the things that's needed the most in this whole conversation we spoke about is education. I think there needs to be more education. I think we need to start when the kids are younger.
Absolutely.
Teaching them responsibility and things like that. Talking to the young boys, look, man, you want to be out here and getting this stuff. There's this real serious thing called fatherhood that you could get into.
That's right.
It's like I told
education.
It's like I tell my boys, like, yo, it only take 2 minutes to become a father to somebody. It could be somebody that you wouldn't see yourself being with the next weekend, and they could become the other parent of your child.
Especially those kids that never had a father, that never seen it.
Passing that down, you know what I'm saying?
The young guys that never seen father.
Yep.
The young guy that never seen that. You're like, how could you? Like, I know certain people have this. Certain men have that never seen their father, they don't know their father. They have this aspiration, and they say, I don't never want to be like my dad.
The right men.
You know what I mean?
The right men.
Sometimes the cycle just...
Yeah, I don't never want to be like my dad. But even a person like me, never met my father, I always said, I don't want to be like my dad.
Yeah.
But in fact, I think I was worse than my dad.
Ooh.
Understand? Because my dad, I never met my dad, never met him. I was in my kid's life, in and out, going in and out. So I think that's worse than never seeing him.
I think it's good to note that we can acknowledge our failures.
Absolutely.
As fathers.
Because we can fix it.
As men. This is amazing, right? And I think that we need to do more of this. Listen, guys, Fighting Words with Coach Solo, Shelton Tucker. Coach Solo is a boxing coach. We will be premiering some of his classes. He has students that has won the national championships for boxing. Let's go. Yeah. Three of them.
Three in one shot.
He's also training me. I'm trying to get in the ring, but I'm scared to get hit.
We went to Kansas City, Missouri in January. We went with 4 guys. We came back with 3 national championships.
That's good shit.
Nobody don't talk about that.
That's good.
Nobody don't talk about what it takes for. So that's another subject.
Yeah, I ain't gonna get into that. That's all. Save it. Because we don't went longer than an hour. Yes. But we got so much good stuff to talk about. I think we're a good think tank here. I think this is good. good information as for us as black men. You guys are actually doing something in the community.
Yes.
You guys are actually impacting the community where you serve, where you live. You're teaching kids boxing, martial arts. You're showing them discipline.
Hold up.
Shit!
Hold up now. Yeah. Hold up now. Okay. You see what we doing? Get a boy boxing over here. 746 Orchard Street, New Haven, Connecticut. We listen, man. We training national champions over there. It's not an after-school program. It's not somewhere where you just drop your kid off. Like when you drop your kid off, your kid belongs to me. It's a structure-based program. It's a discipline-based program. So when they come in here, it's an expectation that I want them to, even if they don't know how, I want to see you giving me effort. If you're not giving me an effort, we're going to have a problem all day. Right. Sometimes your kid going to go home and say, your coach was an asshole. Right. Sometimes they go home and be like, your coach was cool. Right. But it's a medium.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, like, if I had me, when I was growing up, I'll be a world champion right now. Wow. You understand what I'm saying? Exactly. Like, I would be a world champion. I stand firm on that. Right. So I want to give these kids what I didn't have. Right. Even at the risk of my kids feeling some type of way. Right. Right. You know what I mean? I know my kids got to feel some type of way with me spending so much time with these kids and I didn't spend time with them. It was a reason why I didn't spend time with you. Not saying that it's justified, but it was a reason why I didn't spend. It was a situation. Now I don't have that situation. I'm a grown ass man now, and I understand how important the youth is to our community.
And I would implore fathers. You know, we are here for support.
Absolutely.
I would implore fathers to get more involved with their children. Get involved with your children. Be present. Your presence is more than any child support payment.
I agree.
It can be.
Absolutely agree.
And at the end of the day, if your child can't call you when they're in distress, when they're in problems, then that's your fault. Okay? In my opinion. This is just my opinion. If your child, as an adult, as a teenager, can't call you, then that means there's some things you got to check your ego. Put your ego to the side. Reach out to your children. Okay? Yeah, okay. If baby mama made it hard, if your child's mother made it hard, hey, that's what they did. But you have a direct connection with that child.
No, I disagree, man.
I get it. Listen. I agree. I get it. If
hold on, man.
That's the 30-year-old. That's the 30-year-old first dad saying that. That's the 30-year-old first dad saying that.
Well, here's what I'm saying. Make every effort that you can.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
With your kids.
Absolutely. That's
all I'm saying.
I agree.
Make the effort. Make the effort to your kids, not to the child's mother. And if the child's mother,
but you have to make an effort to her to make it work with the kid. You have to, unless they're old enough to understand what's going on. You have to make an effort with her.
Agreed. Yeah. But if the child's mother is a barrier, I understand.
Then
you gotta go. Sometimes you gotta say fuck.
You gotta wait until that child can get with you.
Listen, man. Y'all about to go. You're about to start a whole new one.
No, fuck that shit. I'm just saying fathers be responsible.
I'm just saying it's an open topic, man. It's an open topic, man.
No doubt. Listen, man.
I'm just saying let's take responsibility. Let's do what we can. Even though the system is designed for us not to win, as a father, as a man, be a man.
So I don't want to drag the. Like when you say do what you can, what does that mean?
What I mean is when I say do what you can.
That's what it means, yo. I kicked in doors to see my kids. I kicked in doors and went to jail to see.
I don't want you to do that.
I'm not gonna do it again.
Dynamic University.
I don't want us men to get locked up. We don't need to be kicking in doors. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you have to fall back if there's limitations. I get it.
No, I get it.
All I'm saying is, as fathers, as men, let's be present in our children's lives. This isn't just to bash women for limiting
No,
access.
this
isn't just for that. This is helpful for fathers.
This is nowhere near back to single moms or baby mothers.
Hold on, pardon me, guys. Hold on, y'all. Before y'all, hold on, y'all. We could. You know what I'm saying? Let me get my plug in, man. So we gonna go. Y'all two about to start a whole nother talk show. Yo.
Real. Do you think?
Yo, I just want to say, Sensei Shelton, Sensei over at 304 Dynamic University, 304 Willie Avenue, New Haven, Connecticut.
There you go.
We teach children from 4 years old to 100. We usually teach from 5, but we do have some 4 years old.
Wait, Sean. How many dudes in the city is actually in the trenches like me and you? How many?
They're talking
not enough. I know that much.
How many, man?
Not enough.
They're talking about
like we on this show right now talking about our downfalls and the mistakes that we made.
Sure indeed.
But we not. People need to understand how we changed our mindset and how we changed how our lives around. And now, to me, I'm living on free time.
Mm-hmm.
My life is about making people better. Like right now, like when I think about when I get old, all these little young boys or young girls that I'm feeding into, I want them to be able to take care of me when I get older. And whether it be through politicians, whether it be through community, whether it be something, I need them to advocate for me when I'm not able to advocate for myself. So that's what the plan is with me. I need these kids to be prepared to be away from their parents for 8 hours a day.
Sure indeed. Y'all ain't gonna stop my plug though.
My
Y'all ain't gonna stop my plug, man. I don't know. Y'all ain't gonna stop my plug, man.
Make your plug, baby. Make your plug, baby.
My bad, show.
Let me give it back. Let me get the mic back, show. Go ahead.
Nah. I just want to say, with the parents out there, man, come on.
It's the yak. It's the yak.
The yak.
That's what grown man.
Nah, come on, dude.
God
Bring your kids, man. Ages 5 to 16. We say 5 to 100. You know, our system is based on discipline and focus. So, you know, we have discipline in our classes too. We teach the kids accountability other than martial arts. So, come on down to Dynamic University again, 304 Willie Avenue.
Yes.
And ask them about Sensei Shelton.
Absolutely.
There you go. Sensei Shelton on the way. Yeah.
So right now, before we go off, I advocate for more than an hour.
You advocate for
more than an hour. Because if we gonna get this yak in us, it gotta be more than an hour.
We've been talking some good. It's been some good conversation, and we've gotten some good feedback in the comments.
Yeah.
And this basically lets me know that we're on the right track here.
Yeah. And Rob, let the audience know that we're not here to be bashing nobody, to go at somebody. We're gonna talk about real topics that's going on in the community that affected our lives, that affect other people's lives. So we're not here to bash people.
We're not here to bash.
We're not here to make you feel bad.
We love y'all. Y'all mother our children.
I think single moms are the most important people in the world.
Agreed.
And that's why I think they need to be more focused.
Agreed.
On how they raising our kids.
Agreed. And we need to make sure that we're not raising bitches.
Oh man, you know what? Man.
I'm full of yak, and so maybe my vernacular should be different. But let's not listen. The hood is full of bitches.
Yo,
the hood is. Listen,
absolutely.
When you shooting a nigga because he stepped on your shoe, that's an ego problem. That's a bitch problem.
Yo.
When you shooting a nigga because he looked bad at you, you shooting a nigga because he could see you.
But the flip side of that, if I shoot a nigga that stepped on my new Timbs, the next day I'm gonna get so much pussy.
From Dirty Timbs?
From me doing something.
I'm not.
From me doing
I'm not
something.
sure.
Listen.
Where we?
But
I'm not sure.
This is where I'm going with that. Me being that dude in the hood that I attack somebody that's stepping on my Timbs, it makes me more famous. it makes me more appealing to that woman. It makes me more appealing to that woman.
If you do some poetry,
well, that's where I'm coming from.
You sending some poetry or something.
I'm not the 30-year-old father.
Right.
I'm not the 30-year-old first dad. I'm talking about the 14, 15, 16-year-old man.
Look, man.
That's where I come from.
We not about to stereotype young teenage fathers, man.
Not
parents. Nah, man.
It's not even a stereotype. It's true.
No doubt, man. But it's all about the village, man.
It's definitely.
It's no village. It's no village.
We gotta get back to it.
Village.
I know, but
your mom back in the day had 100 kids.
Mm-hmm.
She had 100 kids, and they respected her.
It wasn't 100 now, but
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know what
people in the hood that respected your mom.
Yeah.
Like no matter what was going on, oh shit.
Yeah. Oh, it's different. It's a different day now.
It's a different day now. A youngin that was our age back in the day, see solo mom now, they're like, fuck her.
But you know what?
It's different. That's why I disagree with Rob when he say.
That's another talk show, but the thing about it is, like with those kids and stuff, and the mothers and lack of respect and stuff, the barrier is us. And I'm not saying that people. When I say I'm talking about us in this room, I'm saying as parents, and nobody is perfect.
The village is scared of our youth.
Part of me, when I was a little youngin, part of me watching my language when the elder walked by and certain things was how I was brought up.
That was automatic.
But that's how it was brought up. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't automatic because of the area, because I had some homeboys back in those days.
But what I'm saying is it was automatic because of the parenting.
Yeah, the parenting. But
that's why I disagree with.
But that's what I'm saying. We have to be that barrier. If you got to be the reason why your son feels like, not just you, but parents. We got to be the reason why our kids feel more responsible. Something like that elder coming around and cursing, but then watching language. The reasons why my sons is like that because I put it in their head a long time ago, and I kept beating in their head. So we got to be that barrier, like with the younger generation. We got mad OGs in our streets.
We do.
That got the kids. The kids look up to them. The kids admire them. Anything they say, these kids are gonna believe it. But some of them is so caught up in living their second childhood out in the streets. They're not educating these kids. There's some OGs out here that could probably save a whole neighborhood. If them kids seen them say, "Yo, let's stop fighting," they'll stop fighting. So you know what I'm saying? So some of that is that's a part of the problem that we're going through too. It's just not enough education. How many women out there talking to the young girls, educating them to the different things? Yo, you might have a father with this young boy who's not ready to be a father. You might be raising a child by yourself. Do you know how hard it is to raise a child by yourself? You got this bill, that bill, this bill, that bill. We don't have enough of that in our community, as well as someone teaching the young boys, look, you go mess with a girl of all. You can't just say, hey, I don't want to have kids. You don't want to have kids? Don't have sex unprotected. Or be abstinent. You know what I'm saying? We just don't have enough of that. We got dudes running around. I'm gonna mess with your girl. I'm gonna F your B and all that stuff. And the kids is hearing that. So I think our generation played a big part in the stuff that's going on now. That's just my opinion.
Well, first of all, if you're not making more than $120,000, if you got one kid, you're not doing enough.
Nah, true indeed. True indeed.
100,020 or more makes you eligible to have one kid.
Oh yeah, no doubt. No doubt. We all live in.
So to society, if you got 3 kids and you making 60,000, 50,000, you're a deadbeat. Yeah. I don't care what you're doing for your kids.
Or
to society, you're a deadbeat.
I don't know.
There's no way in the world you could be making enough money to take care of 3 or 4 kids, and you only making 60,000 a year.
But I think a deadbeat has more to do with
I'm talking about society
practice than things of that sort. But that's again, man. We could get into this till 4 in the morning, man.
We listen here. Here's the thing. You know, I don't trust the term deadbeat dad because the system creates too many deadbeats.
True indeed. So, and they get to define what a deadbeat dad is.
So what we'll do is we'll try to change the narrative. We got a show. We have a platform. Mm-hmm. We get to do this.
Absolutely.
Right? Absolutely. We got time. We've been on this joint for 2 hours.
This is the first night.
And I think we're onto something here because we need enough We don't have enough black men that are building like this, especially in this area in Connecticut. So let's table what we got now. Because if we talk about anything else, it's going to go for another hour.
No, true indeed.
This is good. This is good. Listen, people. Fighting Words with Shelton Tucker, Coach Solo. I trained with both of these guys. These guys are making an impact in our community with the youth. Now, we're going to get bad press because people are assholes. All right? So I don't give a fuck about the assholes. Fuck Your Feelings TV is what's promoting this shit. I don't give a fuck about you. I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you don't like him. I don't care if you don't like him. We are doing this shit to give people a voice in Connecticut. If you have an idea, if you got something to say, come to Fuck Your Feelings TV. We got you. Okay?
And before we go, fucking press the share buttons and the likes, man. What the fuck is wrong with y'all, yo? What the fuck is going on, man?
Exactly.
Fucking share and like our shit, man. We ain't up here with the bullshit.
Exactly.
We ain't talking about bullshit. Maybe even if you don't agree with what the fuck we saying, let's go, man. Share and like our shit, yo.
Yo.
Fuck that.
I got too many church people on my page, but please.
Listen,
share.
I'll share for you. Church people, share this shit.
I bet.
We talking real shit, man. We ain't up here talking about no bullshit. We talking about real shit.
Word.
We talking about what we went through, how we went through, and we holding ourselves accountable. We not sitting up here saying that what we did was the right thing. That's not what we saying. We saying that we improved, we got better with age. And if I had the mindset now that I had at 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, I'll be clear.
That's why we got to be them leaders. There's a lot of kids in our neighborhood that's missing. Don't even necessarily have to be fathers, just positive role models. Too many of our kids come outside, they see dudes on the corner. They don't see enough of us as black men working, being positive, being involved, engaging our neighborhood. We need to change that, straight up.
You heard them? You heard the guys. Listen, we'll be on next week. What is it? What's today? Tuesday? Wednesday?
Wednesday, sorry.
I don't keep up with days.
Wednesday.
Let me
Wednesday, March 29th.
My wife will tell you I don't keep up with days.
The Yak is coming.
I'm good.
Next Wednesday, tune in at 8 o'clock.
Long as I wake up, I'm good.
Peace.
Listen, y'all have a good night. Peace.
Peace, man. Listen,
peace, beloved.
Next Wednesday. Listen, if you want to hear us more, let us know, nigga.
Make sure y'all tune in.
We might be up here more than once a week if y'all tune in.
Y'all got something you really think we need to talk about, something you want to bring to the table, important.
Hey, Nikki, man. Shout out to Nikki, man. Nikki participated. We appreciate you, man. And we hope you up here next week again. Giving you a still plan. Love you, girl.
Love y'all.
Call her, my wife, man. She was up here all night, man. I appreciate you, girl. Appreciate you.
One day when I was riding on the train, I see these two kids talking about the New Year rain falling. I didn't say nothing cause these kids got my goat. Even my goat, like the murder that they wrote. So this kid was